Hello, hello, dear friends. I am Noemi Paimal from Pedagogy 3000, Education 3000 in English. And today we are going to see something very, 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 very important. What are the characteristics of the children of today and tomorrow? They did change, everything changed, and very fast, very rapidly, just in front of us. I mean, it's amazing. In a couple of decades, we did some research from 2001, and we saw so many changes. And all the pediatricians we interviewed said that those kids, they are not inside my tables. What I learned in the schools, in the universities, doesn't correspond to them now. So it's very important to see what's going on with that. What can be the future too with those children, and really do an education according to that, to those new changes, because it's tremendous. From an anthropological point of view, it's a big jump, it's a big leap, quantum leap. It's like in less than one generation, we saw so many changes, and we can see them on all levels. Physiological, the metabolism is different. Psycho-emotional too, and neurological as well. And that's tremendous. We did some research. We did two. We did one in Bolivia and we did statistics, and one in Mexico with the University of Baja California. And then we got about the same results, which I was very happy with. And we studied with children from 5 to 8 years old, the range of the age range. And then we did an average with all the children. So it's not all the children together. We observed that 83% of them, the result was 83% positive on the test with self-taught and self-developed, meaning the tendency now is really about be independent and be self-taught. This is good news for the teachers, by the way, meaning let them do. They can learn alone, they can do their research, they can get very enthusiastic about new topics, and it's great. As a teacher, we should actually do less, give them more protagonism and enjoy the ride. It's beautiful, and they are certainly capable of being self-taught. And what they do need, on the other hand, is a lot of emotional support. And try to give a lot of tools to help with emotional intelligence. We will see that later. Actually, it's another video we will do on that. It's so important. The right hemisphere of the brain, which is very creative, and the fourth brain is certainly boost with them. It works very well, very developed, and we had 82% of the results. And this is very important because it's a new way of processing the information and doing things. Sensitivity and emotional intelligence is very high, supra-developed, 77%. Now this is where we have to take care because of the sensitivity actually. So they are balanced emotionally and they can cope with the emotions. Young people, kids, and even babies. For sensitive intuition and psychic abilities, it's very hard to measure, I recognize, but we had the impressive figure of 44%. According to this test, which is very high, especially with the little ones. So in the summary, we can say self-taught, definitely, independent. You know this, me alone, I do it, don't help me. I know a little kid, he was 1 year old, and he could get his shirt out, he could pass the head, which is very hard. And he was saying he wanted to do it himself, and the mother said, don't help him. He's very upset when we help him. Let him do. And definitely he did. He took off the t-shirt and he was 12 months old in front of me. Early, precocious, they will start things before, turn around in the crib the very first day of birth. This is new. Things like to talk in a very, very young age, like 8 months old, to start to the sentences even, and words, and many languages sometimes. Sensitive, rapid, very fast when they do something. They learn so fast and they get bored. That's definitely true. Lateral thinking, they can find solution. Let's say if you ask a kid, do you want to go to the park or do you want to see your grandmother? And probably you will say, let's go to the park with the grandmother and then with my friend and the dog and you, mom, and have ice cream. And they will have many ideas at the same time, which is correct, because this is a characteristic of the right brain, and they can do it, definitely, much more than us. Multitask, that would be a multitask approach. They love nature. They have definitely, they are digital natives. I know a kid of 6 year old, and he programs the cellular of the man. Something that even the adult, we don't know how to do. He has to be a professional to do that. And he was only 6 years old, and that was recently I got this report. I saw the man. Multitask, bright, definitely. That's with supra-developed emotional intelligence, empathic, intuitive, and they get bored with schoolwork. Of course, they understand fast, they have their ideas, and then they finish what they have to do at school, and then they get bored, and then when they are bored, they get, kind of fussy, or they want to do something else. So we have to be very careful with that, make sure their project is active, they can help each other, and I definitely other strategies and other approach with them. I put this picture of this little boy. I mean, it's a great boy. It's a very talented boy. He's only 12 years old. He's from Mexico. And he wants to study biomedical physics at UNAM. UNAM is the most prestigious university in Mexico. His name is Carlos Antonio Santamaria Diaz, and he wants to study at the university to learn how to build cells to cure disease. Two things here. First, the age, of course, he's very young, and it's kind of amazing. And you can browse internet. You have so many kids now and young people. They're amazing with invention and research and many ideas. But then why he wants to study, he wants to cure people. So it's a very noble motivation, very noble goal. And that sometimes amazes me, the high level of ethic of some of those kids. And we have to support them and give them the facilities of that. I know that democratic education, for instance, will definitely support and help kids that wants to study a special issues or have a special talent, and they allow them to go to the university, even though they are only in high school. They allow them to specialize in their whatever talent they have, like it can be music as well or whatever. And that's very good. That's really what we have to do. Listen to them, and whatever the goal, help, support, be the one who let them flourish and give them all the tools. They're amazing. Okay, the metabolism. Well, we saw it's very fast and it's very precocious, meaning they will do things earlier. Because of this metabolic modification, it should not be mistaken with hyperactivity and nor attention deficit disorder. This is not actually what's happening right now. But about 20 years ago, yes, it was mostly the case, but now no. Now we observe a new metabolism. I mean, from anthropology point of view, it's like a leap. It's like secular tendency, meaning it's an evolution. It's a leap in evolution. That is like we have a modified human being with a new chip, just to say it somehow. Pediatricians observe that the metabolism of today's children has changed. In general, they have a higher energetic level. Yes or no? They eat less, they sleep less, and they have more energy than the whole family together, especially at night, 11 o'clock at night, for instance. They are faster and more precocious in all areas of human development. Now they say it's probably has something to do with the mitochondria and the ATP, meaning they possess more energy in the mitochondria. And I do agree too. Larger perception. This is very important too. Facing sensory stimuli, pediatricians have seen a rise in perception at all levels. This phenomenon is known as hyperesthesia. Hyperesthesia is your senses are more developed. Like when you hear something, the hearing is much more acute, more developed. Like you are more aware of all the sound, and it can bother you. I mean, I know some kids that they are very, very bothered with noise. And this is not social disorder, it's just hyperesthesia. And again, from an anthropological point of view, it's good. It means evolution. It's something that's very good. And we talk about the five senses, the hearing, the sight, the smell as well, the taste, and the skin, the touch. The skin is it's more sensitive, like the label behind, or some clothes, they don't really like it because they say it's itchy, like wool, for instance, or the label behind the clothes. So it's not like they are fussy, it's real, it's physical, and please, we have to consider that and help them with that. Especially the sound like shouting or breath sound, like sometimes we have too much sound too much noise in the school. Should be lower, of course. And as well, there is a correlation between outside senses and inner senses. So probably the inner senses are more developed as well. Something fascinating, yes, please, we have to do some research on that, is called synesthesia. Yes, with an S. It's not kinesthetic, it's synesthesia. And it's fabulous. A synesthetic brain can perceive everything at the time. It's very fast, and it can hear colors or see music, and it will process extremely rapidly all the information. The calculation is very fast, for instance. The memory is extraordinary. And I would definitely recommend to see the videos of Daniel Tammet, Tammet. Daniel Tammet is from England, because he has such a brain. The scientist studies his brain. Actually, the studies of the synesthetic brain, we have some studies from 80 years. From 80 years, we study that. There is a lot of information on the website. But what's amazing, like according to our research, maybe. And what you saw, it's from 6 to 8% of the young people have a tendency to have a synesthetic brain. It's actually a new trend, and this is extraordinary. This brain, plus his brain, if you connect with the heart, it's very empathic, like Daniel Tammet. And Daniel Tammet had a very hard time when he was little to cope with such a brain and with the reality. And now it's wonderful. The balance and the way he handled that is fabulous. So that's something we have to see in the future. If you have more kids with synesthetic brain, and attend that, they definitely need another kind of education. I mean, they are too fast, too bright. And we have to be aware of that. In summary, Dr. Marcia de Carvalho Soares, she is a Brazilian pediatrician, and she said, in general, of course, you have so many cases, like I saw a report from Australia, and the lady was talking about 77 different kinds of characteristics and tendencies in the children. So it's huge. It's a vast field of research. But she said, in general, the sensory system is sharper. I mean, all the senses. The cardio system, heart and thymus, seems more sensitive, and the metabolic system in general is more developed and precocious. And We do agree with that. That's what we see all the time. So definitely we will need to build up a new education according to that. Definitely, I think it's so important to study, to listen to them, to understand how they learn, what they want, how they cope with reality, with what they want to do, how they process information, how they give back the information, how they perceive the information. It's a fabulous field. It's a must. Whoever is involved in education, it's the first subject we have to research and attend that. And according to that, naturally, we will see what kind of education we need. And it's going to be much more practical, much more autodidactic, much more project and find solution-based education, and many, many wonderful things. And the teacher will enjoy it much more. The teacher will have less to do and more to enjoy. It's a new era for education. Thank you so much, and see you at the next video. Bye bye.